Voiceover. Before we dive into the current crisis in France, it's important to understand what we're dealing with. So, what is bird flu? Bird flu, or avian influenza, is a viral infection that spreads from bird to bird. It's a highly contagious disease among birds, capable of making domestic birds, including chickens, ducks, and turkeys, very sick, and in severe cases, it can even lead to their death. But it's not just a threat to our feathered friends. Bird flu viruses can also infect humans and other animals, leading to outbreaks of disease. This isn't a simple cold, it's a potentially devastating virus that can have far-reaching effects. Understanding bird flu is the first step in understanding the current crisis in France. Stay tuned as we delve into the situation on the ground, the measures being taken, and what it all means for the people and poultry of France. Now that we understand what bird flu is, did you know France is on high alert for it? The situation has been developing across Europe, and now the French government has made the decision to place the entire country on high alert. This is a significant move, considering the importance of poultry farming to the French economy and the potential impact of widespread outbreak. One of the key measures that have been put in place is the requirement to keep poultry flocks indoors. This isn't a small-scale initiative. It's been implemented in certain areas since September. The aim is to limit the potential for the virus to spread, particularly from wild birds to domesticated flocks, thus reducing the risk of a devastating outbreak. Speaking of wild birds, they are a major part of this story. Since August, there have been 130 cases of bird flu detected in wild animals or on farms in Europe. This includes 3 cases in backyard birds in northeast France. It's a clear sign that the bird flu virus is not just a threat to large poultry farms, but to smaller backyard operations as well. The French government is not just reacting to the immediate threat, they are also looking to future. They are implementing reinforced prevention measures to protect poultry farms. This includes taking into account production practices such as free-range farming, which presents its own unique set of challenges when it comes to preventing the spread of bird flu. What's remarkable about all of this is that these measures are being taken without threatening France's bird flu-free status, which was achieved in September after a previous wave of bird flu. It's a delicate balancing act, protecting the health of the poultry population while also maintaining the country's reputation as a safe place to source poultry. As the bird flu situation escalates, France is taking reinforced prevention measures to protect poultry farms without threatening its bird flu-free status. It's a complex situation, and one that we'll continue to monitor closely as it develops. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. Bird flu isn't just a problem in France, it's spreading globally. From the corners of Europe to the vast landscapes of Africa, the bustling cities of Asia, the frosty expanses of Canada, and down to the United States, the specter of bird flu is casting a long and ominous shadow. Europe has seen a significant rise in bird flu cases, with France being hit particularly hard. But this isn't a localized issue. Across the continent, measures are being taken to combat the spread. We see countries like the Netherlands ordering commercial farms to keep all flocks indoors in response to reports of bird flu on a farm. Moving over to Africa, Asia, and Canada, we find the situation is no less dire. The disease is widespread, and the poultry industry is feeling the pressure. Turning our gaze to the United States, it's clear that the memory of the catastrophic bird flu outbreak in 2015 still lingers. That year, nearly 50 million birds were lost to the disease. It was a blow from which the industry is still recovering, and there's a palpable sense of apprehension that history could repeat itself, and the timing couldn't be worse. Amid strong demand and labor shortages brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic, poultry supplies are already strained. The addition of bird flu into the mix is another layer of complexity to an already challenging situation. Poultry producers are responding the best way they know how, by implementing stricter safety measures. These include suspending farm visits and ramping up biosecurity. The U.S. Agriculture Department is also expanding its monitoring of wild birds in migratory pathways, as wild birds are known carriers of the disease. The global spread of bird flu is a stark reminder of our interconnected world and how a disease in one corner can quickly become a worldwide concern. As bird flu continues to spread, the global poultry industry is on high alert. Back in France, the bird flu situation is worsening. The number of outbreaks on French farms has seen a significant increase. A mere 18 days brought a surge from 100 cases on December 2nd to a staggering 217 cases by December 20th. This rapid escalation is indicative of the swift and relentless nature of the virus. It's not just farm birds that are being affected, however. An uptick in cases in wildlife is also being reported. This is cause for concern, as it could potentially hamper efforts to control the spread of the virus, given the challenges of monitoring and managing wild bird populations. In light of the deteriorating situation, the French agriculture minister is planning to propose a strategy that could be a game changer. The plan involves using vaccination as a tool to combat the disease. It's a proactive approach, designed to prevent the disease from taking hold, rather than just responding to outbreaks as they occur. It's worth noting that more than half of the outbreaks are concentrated in one region, Pays de la Loire. This region, known for its rich agricultural history, is now at the epicenter of the bird flu crisis. The impact on the local farming community and economy could be significant if the situation continues to escalate. Yet, in these challenging times, France is not backing down. The country is stepping up its efforts to combat bird flu, determined to protect its poultry industry and its people from the far-reaching effects of this disease. With over half of the outbreaks concentrated in the Pays de la Loire region, France is stepping up its efforts to combat bird flu. So, what is France doing to combat bird flu? Let's dive into the effective measures France has put in place to combat the spread of bird flu. As we know, the French government has put the entire country on high alert, and part of this precautionary move includes keeping all poultry flocks indoors. This step is crucial in limiting the interaction between domestic and wild birds, reducing the risk of spreading the virus. But the French government's efforts don't stop there. They have also been conducting preventive cullings. Now, you may wonder, what does that mean? Well, preventive culling involves the removal and safe disposal of potentially infected birds, even before they show symptoms of the disease. This proactive approach helps to nip the problem in the bud, further curbing the spread of the virus. However, these measures alone are not enough to fight bird flu. Hence, France is exploring the potential of vaccines in the battle against this disease. They have been testing vaccines on ducks and geese, species that are particularly susceptible to bird flu. But France understands that this is a global issue and recognizes the need for a unified approach. Therefore, they are hoping to convince other European Union member states to adopt a common strategy. This would entail a collective effort to vaccinate poultry across the continent, creating a broad shield against the disease and ultimately controlling its spread more effectively. France's bird flu-free status achieved in September after a previous wave of bird flu will not be threatened by these measures. Instead, these steps are a testament to the country's commitment to maintaining that status and protecting its valuable poultry industry. As bird flu continues to spread, France is leading the charge in finding effective strategies to combat the disease. France's response to bird flu showcases its dedication to safeguarding not only its own poultry population, but also contributing to the global fight against this devastating disease. Let's recap the key points we've discussed today. We've delved into the alarming situation of bird flu in France, which has led the French government to put the entire country on high alert. The virus has been detected in over 100 cases, both among wild animals and on farms, leading to stringent measures to protect poultry farms, including keeping the birds indoors. We also examined the global spread of this highly lethal form of avian flu. Wild birds have been instrumental in transmitting the disease, resulting in outbreaks not just in Europe, but also in Africa, Asia, Canada, and the United States. The repercussions have been significant, with countries like the US hardening safety measures and China, South Korea, and Mexico implementing bans on poultry imports. The situation in France has continued to worsen, with the number of bird flu outbreaks escalating rapidly. The Pays de la Loire region is particularly affected, hosting more than half of these outbreaks. This exacerbation of the bird flu situation has raised concerns not just about damage to flocks and the consequent impact on poultry supplies, but also about potential trade restrictions and human transmission. Finally, we reviewed France's response to the bird flu crisis. The French agriculture minister is considering a vaccination strategy to combat the disease, and measures like keeping birds indoors and conducting preventive cullings have already been put into action. France is also advocating for a common approach among EU member states and has been testing vaccines in ducks and geese. As we continue to monitor the bird flu situation in France and around the world, remember to stay informed and take necessary precautions. Thanks for watching. That's all we have for you today in our coverage of the bird flu crisis in France. We've discussed the rising alarm in France, how the bird flu has spread globally, the worsening situation in France, and the country's response to the crisis. The situation is dynamic and requires continued vigilance. This is not just a problem for France or for farmers, but a global issue that could impact us all. It is crucial to stay informed and aware. Remember, knowledge is power. If you found this video informative and helpful, we urge you to share it with your friends and family. Let's spread awareness and not panic. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates on this situation and other important global events. Stay informed, stay safe. Thanks for watching.